Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Paladin Robin. Folks, I gotta thank you guys for watching these videos. I'm doing the series right now on the new set that's come out, Duskmourn. This series is taking a look at each rarity that we have. So the masterpieces, the mythics, these are the rares here. And then finally the commons and uncommons. And I'm trying to identify for you guys what are the top 10 cards of each rarity. This video, like I said, is going to be the one that we look at the rares. So take a look at all of the videos in this series and kind of see what I think are the best ones for that particular rarity. Some of them I think are incredible. They're game changers for some decks. And I would just encourage you to, like I said, look at all of those videos and see if you can collect all of those cards. Okay, so let's take a look. Here is the first out of the 10 best rares for this one here. These are coming out in no particular order. The first one I want to point out is Mind Skinner. The Mind Skinner is a card that I've shown on this channel for the spoilers. Alright, go take a look at the spoilers that I did. This one I think is a very good card. There's a lot of uses for it. I go over it in depth in the spoilers. Just to take a look, you get a 10-1 for 6. That's really awesome. Obviously, you're going to be able to reinforce this one. That's going to help you. And I'll read this part to you here. This one I think is a really good part of this card. When a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, your opponent gains X life. When your opponent loses life or is dealt damage, destroy the top X cards of your opponent's library. X is the damage that was dealt that way. So this one will start to negate the damage that you do unless you use a certain card. And I'm not going to tell you what card that is. Go watch the spoilers. In fact, there are several cards that kind of fit into this niche that will basically make sure your opponent doesn't gain life. And really, I think that's the way to mitigate the drawback for this card, right? Obviously, the drawback for this card is that your opponent is going to gain how much ever life that you take away from them. But guess what? There are ways around that, and go check out that spoiler video to see some of those ways. But this one is excellent. I definitely would use this card a whole lot. Once I start pulling up some cards that I want to use in conjunction with this, then, you know, I get some time on my hands and I'll put together a video for you guys and you guys can check it out. Really cool stuff. Okay, let's take a look at the second card. Meathook Massacre 2. For 23, you get a support enchantment. When this support enters the board, destroy all creatures. When a creature you control dies, return the last creature from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. That creature gains finality. When an opponent's creature dies, of course, you can exile it. This is what finality does. It basically exiles creatures instead of throwing them into maybe the graveyard when they would leave the battlefield. This one I think is an interesting one. I don't see it taking over games, but it definitely does help in certain decks. The thing I like about this is destroy all creatures. That's going to be really good. Obviously, you're going to want a way to get creatures off the board. This is going to help you do that. And I think if you can pair this with maybe other cards like Phyrexian Portal, that's going to be really good. You're going to be able to get cards out of your graveyard, put them on the battlefield. That's going to help you. And you know, like I said here, this is a really good card where you can take a look. Gives you some extra advantages, helps you to get some other creatures on the board as well. So this one is just an incredible card. Very cool. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Here's number 3, Cursed Recording. For 18, you get this artifact card. When you cast a card for the first time during your turn, create a copy of that card in your hand. That card gains full mana. Then increase this card's level by 1. At the beginning of your turn, if this card's level is 5 or more, you lose 20 life. Then this card's level becomes 1. Okay, so you can see there's kind of a reset ability there. Once it gets up to 5, you'll lose some life. But you know what? That can be mitigated. Obviously, throw some cards in there that will give lifelink and things like that. And then that's going to help to mitigate some of the drawback for this card. And, if you do that, I think this is going to be one that will help you to win games, right? This first ability here looks pretty good. When you cast the card for the first time during your turn, create a copy of that card in your hand and it gets full mana. So basically, you'll be able to just use 2 cards at the beginning of your turn. As long as you have one fully paid off, you get the second one for free. So 2 for 1, that's always really good in this game. I really always say, don't pay for cards if you can get them for free. And this is one way you'll get free cards. So super, super cool. All right, let's move on to number 4. Nashi, Searcher in the Dark. This is a rat ninja wizard. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, destroy the top X cards of your library. X is this creature's power. Then you may fetch the first enchantment card from your graveyard. If you don't, this creature gets +2/+2. So I think this is a very interesting one. You can get that buff there, that 2/2 buff. That's a good way to play it. There's different ways you can play this one, obviously. I'd say just take a look at this part here. This is a strong way to play this card. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, destroy the top X cards of your opponent's library. And I think that's probably the best way to do a lot of work with this card, right? You want to make this power really, really high, and then it's going to just destroy cards from your opponent's library, and then that's going to help you win games in certain decks. So very, very cool. I would like this one with maybe Jace the Perfected Mind. That one would just blow up stuff. Very cool here. All right, number 5. This one may be the best card in the entire set. All right, Unstoppable Slasher. You'll see what I mean. I'll read it here. It's a zombie assassin, 2/3. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, your opponent loses X life. X is equal to half of your opponent's planeswalker's current life rounded down. This one is pretty nasty, right? What I would do is try to buff this one, do tons of damage. But here's the thing, right? Your opponent is going to lose life. He's going to lose half of the life that they have rounded down, right? That's kind of crazy. That's like a lot of life. When I read it here, it says X is equal to half of your opponent's planeswalker's current life. Wow, I was just blown away. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. We're going to take away a lot of life every single turn, especially those early turns with this card here. I can't wait for this one. This one is going to be a feature of a lot of decks, I can tell. Anyway, let's take a look at number 6. Marvin Murderous Mimic. For 14, you get a 2/2 creature. At the beginning of your turn, choose target creature. Then this creature gets +X/+X. X is equal to that creature's power. Okay, so obviously you're going to want to target a big creature. And when you do, this one is going to get that really huge buff. So that's cool. I really think this is a good one, especially because it doesn't say until the end of turn, right? So what that means is you're going to get that buff, and it's going to be a permanent buff. Super cool here. I do like that it does not say you have to choose another creature besides this one. Basically what that means is when this one becomes the biggest creature on your side of the board, you can just clone this one, give it that big buff right there. Very, very cool. I do think this one is going to be one that is going to be useful in a lot of decks, and especially because it's a colorless one. Very cool here. All right, number 7, Leyline of Hope. This is a white enchantment for 12. When you gain life, your creatures get +1/+1. Overflow, gain 10 life. I like this one. We've seen cards that are like this, right? This is nothing new. What I would do with this one is include it in a deck that you are able to build lots and lots of token creatures, and then put a card like Life Insurance in there. That's a really good one with this, because when those token creatures come into play, you're going to gain life from those token creatures, and then this one will give a buff to all your creatures. That's going to be awesome. We've seen cards like this. We've seen a few cards like this, but they're so useful, and I do like this one. I do like this one a lot. Right, number 8. The Jolly Balloon Man. This one is a weird card. What is he doing? He's blowing air into this guy's head like it's a balloon. Pretty creepy. I don't know what else to say. Pretty creepy. I read the card and I'm almost just taken aback because how creepy this thing is. But it's a good card when you read this stuff here, right? It's a 1/4 human clown for 10. Activate one of each color, reinforce a non-token creature you control at random. That's kind of good. Then that creature gains flying, lifelink, imminent death, and gains the balloon subtype. That is kind of bad. I don't like that imminent death. I think that one's really bad. Obviously, what we're going to want to do is hopefully we get to smash all of these activate gems, and then it says reinforce a non-token creature you control at random. I don't like that because obviously what we're gonna want to do is reinforce target creature. We just throw all of those reinforcements on one creature, and imminent death is not going to hurt that creature because it'll just lose a reinforcement every turn. But because it's a random one, that really hurts. You know, I don't know. I still think this is an excellent card. You're going to want to pair it with a lot of big cards. Probably what I would do is go with this one here, a big, heavy hitter card like a Gaia's Revenge, and then a token. Because what you're going to do is you're going to throw all of these reinforcements either at Jolly Balloon Man or the big Gaia's Revenge kind of creature. And it gives you basically a 50-50 chance of which one gets the reinforcement. That's probably the best way to control this random thing here. Cool card, very cool card, very creepy, but good, useful card.
Okay, here's the next one, number 9. This one is the Silent Hall Creeper. Creature 1/1 for 8. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, gain 2 mana. Then this creature gets +2/+2 and you draw 2 cards.
So this is a good one. Obviously you want to go with the double strike, right? Because the double strike will help you to deal damage twice in a turn. So you'll gain 4 mana just for this one. So that's kind of nice. I do think that you're going to like the draw. That's going to be good. You're going to also like that buff. So I think this one is a really nice one, especially, like I said, with double strike. You can use that double strike. You'll gain 4 cards plus the original one that you drew at the beginning of your turn. 5 cards in a turn. That's pretty awesome because that basically means 2 or 3 turns and you can pull basically any card that you want in your entire deck. So that gives you a huge advantage. Cool stuff here. This is a good one. Alright, number 10, Kona Rescue Beastie. It's a survivor beast, 4/3 for 6. Survival is this new thing that we got going on, but you can see here, I'll read it to you. Survival, fetch the first creature or support card from your library. That card gains half of its mana. Survival basically says that if this card has attack this turn, then you can use the survival effect, right? I do think this is going to be really good. You'll be able to gain creatures or support cards from your library. They'll have half of their mana already paid off. This one is going to be especially good with decks that will have like maybe this card and then another creature. Right, that 2 creature kind of a deck, because really what's going to happen is you're going to either pull this one or that other creature, and that's going to be good. I would also put this in decks where you only have one support, right? That one support that you absolutely need in order to win games. When you use this ability after you've attacked at the end of your turn, you have a good chance of just grabbing that one support, right? Kind of depends on how you compose your deck, but if that's a way that you can make an advantage for yourself, I definitely would do that. Very cool here. Okay, like and subscribe, share with all your friends. That's it for me. Good gaming, guys.